Niggas think it's sweet, but I keep it real to the bitter end. Since a kid, I had family, I never had no friends. Charged up, cause I stay 100, never to pretend. If I did, I was holding back some tears when I was 10. Every time I get some money, it's gonna make me wanna spend. But that's just my personality, I gotta get it in. I had $30 checks, only job I ever quit. But I still kept it legit until I bossed up again. Ain't no L's ever stick, turn a loss to a win. That's a hustle,
what's good, what's cracking? We back. Episode 100 of Threes from the Ring, G. I thought about it as the intro was going. I'm like, yo, this is episode Hondo, G. Crazy when you believe it, G. Episode Hondo, G. We 100 episodes in this shit, G.
Fourth wall breaking. We matched up with Black Otakus?
No, Black Otakus would be 100 this week.
So I'm saying we matched up because it's the same week.
Yeah, so same week we're about to hit 100 episodes on Black Otakus as well. So, this is still the first You Tweaking Media podcast hit 100 episodes. So we here, we came a long way. Beautiful when you think about it, man. So many moments, so many fun little arguments. But hey, man, we here. Of course, it's your boy Chris J. Glad to be back.
If you want to think off the top of your head, argument that I won, by the way. Isaiah Thomas being better than what's that man's name?
Patrick Ewing. Gee, that is still probably the funniest argument. And if you go back to the archives and find the first time we did our top 100 players, we probably spent a good 15 minutes yelling and arguing at each other about who was better, Isaiah Thomas or Patrick Ewing. Funny argument, G. But we don't really raise and holler at each other a lot on the podcast. But that was probably the first. But hey, man. Glad to be here. Pluggers as always. Right now on Teespring, get you some merch. Trell got the hoodie on right now as we speak. But 35% off on Teespring until till January 6th. So we supposed to be getting $600 checks. Trump talking about 2,000. Oh, he ain't signing that shit. So literally, you're gonna have some money real soon, and we'll give you 35% off. 35% off to end the year and start the year. Cop you some You Tweaking Media merch ASAPtually. But let's go ahead and talk about sports as we always do. We're going to do wrestling first. Let me go ahead and pull up the TLC, you digs. Give me a minute on that. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me pause real quick because I got to do. Hold on. No, I can't pause it. But either way, we're just going to keep going. But 100 episodes in, I'm proud. Very, very, very proud of us, G, in every way possible. And we're gonna start off with wrestling and shit. But TLC was actually a decent pay-per-view though. Definitely. Very decent pay-per-view. I had to catch some matches at the end, but it be that way. So I mean, I caught it live at the end, but I caught the rest of it on the recording later. But let's go ahead and talk about what happened. Kickoff show had Big E, Daniel Bryan, Otis, and Chad Gable versus Sami Zayn, King Corbin, Cesaro, and Shinsuke. So I didn't watch this at all. Did you see this match, G?
No, I didn't.
Be that way. All right, cool. But SmackDown's taped, and we do got good news, but I'm not gonna sit there and spoil it. So won't be generous here. Drew McIntyre.
The reason I didn't see that match was because this pay-per-view came on like at 6.
Yeah,
I wasn't watching a 5:00 pre-show, bro.
Yeah, I understand because I got the notification while I was at work saying 5:00 kickoff show begins. I'm like, why is it started so early? But I think it's just their way to combat the NFL because it was a decent Sunday night football game. So,
which is smart.
Yeah, which is smart. So, which is why people need to kind of factor in football season is in its prime right now, and that's why ratings are fucking low on Monday nights. But you niggas are weird. Then we have Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank.
That's
John Morrison cashed in Miz's Money in the Bank as he mentioned on Raw this past week. Yesterday, and pretty much Miz was involved into the match, and technically he was involved in the match without being involved in the match. But Drew McIntyre won. Decent match, fun match. So I don't have no really issues with the match. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, it was a decent match. I for sure thought this was the end of his reign when Miz cashed in. I was like, yeah, it's about that time. But I'm happy to see Drew still get it. It's just like I'm guessing the Keith Lee prophecy is gonna come to fruition.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Kind of to lean over to the way, but even though people are belly aching about Keith Lee right now, he is still kind of the one to win the Rumble this year. Regardless, it's nobody else who's that hot outside of Randy Orton, but clearly they're doing the best they can to keep Randy Orton and the Fiend away from Drew McIntyre right now in that belt, which is put them near each other and have them have their little feud. So you remove those two; those are two threats, and out. So it's just like, yo, it's Keith Lee. Sheamus is clearly gonna be his Royal Rumble match. We don't know what's going on with Miz and that Money in the Bank right now. There's nobody else on Raw who's a threat. So it's clearly Keith Lee at the moment. So Mo's just got to deal with it. So yeah. But yeah.
It's Keith Lee or Big E's Rumble to lose at this point.
I'm putting down.
Even though it's looking like it's set up for Big E to take the IC title, I think that's a swerve in my opinion. Even though it's a win-win regardless if Big E don't take it or take it. If he don't take it, that means he's taking it off of Roman. If he do take it, that means they trust in Big E with the mid-card title. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a win-win regardless. What else? That's pretty much it in my understanding of what I think about Keith Lee and Big E. If Keith Lee gets the belt, I just hope fans don't turn on him. That's it.
And where how these fans are, bro? Like they already did the belly aching because they're like, "Why is he going back to the Performance Center? He don't need to change nothing." Clearly, they see something they just want to get together before they send him, before they put the jetpack on him. So it's like, hey, might as well get out the way now because clearly Triple H didn't see it. But yeah, like it's come on, man. But moving on, Sasha versus Carmella. I actually genuinely like this match. This is a really good match.
Carmella proves people wrong with this one.
Yeah, Carmella has improved a lot in ring, and I kind of like the bootleg Hazel Eve Love and Hip Hop type look with her because it kind of she comes off more. Not to say like when she was wearing Jordan Retro 1s that she wasn't a threat. Because clearly she won Money in the Bank. But she comes off more as she might actually whoop my ass type chick than she is now than she was then.
I'll be back. Keep it going. I'll be right back.
But yeah, so but as I'm gonna just keep proceeding to talk. But yeah, Sasha Banks really did a good job putting her over. Really good job. I really enjoyed how it was a really fun match. Like Sasha clearly was going to win, but throughout the setup for the match, I liked how they made Carmella come off as a threat. Whether she was jumping her, whether just with the hey, I'm not scared of you, and also just applying pressure, and also I really feel bad for black folks with the dreads. I don't remember Buddy's name. Is it Reginald? His name's freaking Reginald. And he looks like the type who will fall for our Carmella type. Just an overly tanned white woman who kind of has fake cheeks, but not really cheeks. And he just sit there and be like, I'm a simp over you. and his name's Reginald. I never met an actual black person named Reginald. But if you know, it's not cool to be called Reginald. It's not cool to be Reggie. That's why I hate Reggie Miller. Freaking Reggie. Nobody wants Reggie Weed. He's regular. You're a black dude named Reggie. You're regular to me, G. I'm just talking about shit. But fun match between Sasha and Carmella. I wouldn't be shocked if Carmella gets a chance to have a rematch at Royal Rumble as of right now because it's too early to put her back up against Bayley. And the only other person on the SmackDown roster right now I could see her going against is maybe Natalya in the near future. So let's see where that goes from here. Anything else you want to add about the match, G?
No, I think it was good. I wasn't looking forward to it, but it was nice. And it's always a good time when Sasha retains.
Definitely agree. New Day versus Hurt Business. It finally happened. Hurt Business went over to New Day. I'm not mad at it. It was about, I want to say, like, even though they only had the belts for like 2 months. Well, yeah, about 2 months combined for this current title reign. But the Hurt Business they're doing everything they can to really seriously put them over, while also at the same time making them seem like legitimate threats. And how else by giving them the mid card titles of that brand. So, like, I'm not mad at it. And plus, the New Day are bigger than the tag team belts. They're bigger than the tag team belts. It's bigger than the tag team division.
They hosting a Mania, my nigga.
Exactly. So, like, they don't need to have the belts on them. As long as they active on Raw, they're going to be on Raw just to do something. So, either way, they're in good shape. I'm not tripping about that at all. It's a good look for the Hurt Business, though. I'm happy for him. Happy for Cedric. Shout out to Benjamin for honoring the win towards Shad, who did lose his life this past year, saving his son in that unfortunate incident. So shout out to the Hurt Business for this. Your thoughts? Anything you want to add?
Oh no! Shout out to the Hurt Business. My bad. The game just came on, so I kind of focused on it real quick.
No, it's cool.
Shout out to the Hurt Business. It's good to see them actually getting that title. It will be good to swerve the Sheamus stuff, because even if he feud with Sheamus at the Rumble, I mean, if Sheamus feuds with Sheamus at the Rumble, you still need somebody. I would love to see Bobby Lashley be that person.
Yeah,
love to see it.
I definitely agree. Like, I think, because clearly as of right now, Bobby Lashley has nobody to fight. Shout out to I thought AD made that, but shout out to but like Bobby Lashley has nobody to really fight in the mid card for Raw right now. Andrade might return with Charlotte back. Who knows? Who knows where Angel Garza is? He's been off and on main event. Yeah, Raw doesn't have much of a mid card right now, so it gives Bobby Lashley something to do. I definitely agree. I wouldn't be mad giving Bobby Lashley that one off to at least say, and I think it'll be a slap of a match. I know it might offend extra because he hates black wrestlers, and we know you listen to the podcast, my brother. But G, give it a chance, G. Bobby Lashley did have a fun match with Keith Lee, so, and it's a brawler versus brawler type match. You can't go wrong with it. So moving on, women's tag team. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and Charlotte Flair. This is when I actually started watching the pay-per-view live. I knew Charlotte was coming back at this point. It was nobody else who would have made sense. You don't write off Lana just for no reason, and no offense to Mandy Rose or Dana Brooke or even Naomi. You're not writing Lana off, who's been really hot right now on TV. She's pretty over. Not over, but she's over. And just sit there and say, let's put Charlotte in the picture, because who else you gonna put in a title match no matter what than Charlotte? So I'm not mad at Asuka and Charlotte going over. It make the most sense, obviously, because if Lana was still in the match, or even put Mandy Rose in the match or Dana Brooke in the match, I would have still assumed that Nia Jax and Shayna retained. Cool match. Good to see Charlotte back. Your thoughts?
Uh, I personally did not. I don't say I don't like it. I don't care. I think it's a good thing to have Charlotte there. It's just it's going to be a what's that called? A collision course for her to get that title. So that's kind of not what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it is. Like it is. It's just the journey of getting. For me, it's more like the journey. Like if things is obvious, I care more about the journey of how we're getting there. What's the journey of Oscar versus Charlotte at this point? Because clearly we know it's coming. There's nobody else on that roster who's a threat as of right now besides Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler to take it off Oscar besides Charlotte. So take me on a good journey on the way there at least. Uh Moving on, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. This was a very fun, hard hitting TLC match. uh we was in the party. This is when you left, but we was in the party just cracking hella jokes, saying Kevin Owens doesn't have no friends. Even though he said he has friends to come, but it was like no friends appeared. So it was just like, gee, what you on?
They
Just
gonna
seeing,
find this way to tweak it to be undisputed era coming. I like it, but
yeah,
it's look like the Goldberg stuff is still set up,
uh,
and
good. Uh,
I'm
but
definitely good on that too.
yeah,
AD just did Ibaka bogus.
he definitely did. I'm like, get that man off him. That man's too old, bro. But it's funny seeing like both teams have like actual bigs on the court. Look old school as hell out there. But it was a very fun match. Shout out to just Jay Uso getting involved in every way possible because it was technically 2-on-1 throughout the whole match. It was legit
Yeah,
2-on-1 match. Overall, I need that Jay Uso I'ma get him shirt. Just solely and we was cracking so many jokes because each time Jay Uso popped up, he was like with Byron, and I was like, I'm gonna get him. But when Jimmy comes back, he needs to have a shirt that says, I got you. I don't know why. It just be hilarious as hell to see. But good match, fun match. Moving on. Randy Orton versus The Fiend continues in a Firefly Inferno match. It was weird because the flames didn't come up right away, and I was like, say, gee, when the hell are we getting the flames? Then we got to remember that Bray Wyatt / The Fiend has the power to bring hell whenever he feels like it, and when he did make the flames appear, it was pretty raw, pretty damn raw. Uh, I like the match. I know some people a little bit critical, but it was clearly a cinematic match. But Randy Orton involved. They beat the hell out of each other. Teasing of the flames was really fire. Uh, some of my favorite spots was when when the Fiend was about to first brought the little the gas thingy along, and he was about to light Randy Orton on fire. Hey, shout out to Paul George. Uh, he had Randy Orton in the chair, and he was about to light that nigga on fire. I was gonna say, yo, he really about to light him on fire. And Randy Orton's face was just hilarious as hell. He was just like, yo, G, come on, bro. Come on, G. Uh and people watching the game, clearly the Lakers just got their rings. They do not give a fuck about the Clippers right now. So but I'm pretty sure Twitter got the hot takes ready as if we didn't see champions get their ass whooped on ring night. But but yeah, it was a really fun match. Seeing Randy Orton just legit burn that nigga alive was hilarious. I'm still not sure the first time Bray Wyatt was on fire was CGI or not though. But the fact that Randy Orton did RKO that nigga while he was on fire is golden. That was golden. Whether the
that was
flames were
nice.
real or not, I respect it.
That was a nice effect.
Yeah,
Really nice.
yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite matches of the night. Like, I'm very hot and cold when it comes to the cinematic matches now. But the RKO on fire was good. I did not see that coming. Um, the Fiend losing. I don't know. Like, is it really a loss?
I'm gonna say because I don't like. Okay, they treat the Fiend like an attraction. at this point. Even though he's in too many damn matches at this point, and plus he pops up too much to be like that type of attraction. Yeah. But it's like he's bigger than wins and losses because he's still a threat.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like, okay, if we're talking about somebody like, let's use Braun Strowman. Yeah, Braun Strowman's a perfect example of somebody who is built up to be such a threat, but he doesn't win shit. He doesn't win at all. So but he needs wins to make his threat come off like, oh my God, he's legit a threat. He will put hands on you. While with the Fiend is like, he's a mystic, mysterious ass character. It's like Kane. Kane didn't win a lot of championship matches, but we were scared when, like, if Kane popped up, you were scared to go against him. So it's like the Fiend is that type of character. Now, if this was Bray Wyatt, then the actual just Bray Wyatt character, then yeah, he needs wins. But since we're talking about the Fiend, is like, okay, he's a 2-time Universal Champion either way, and we know he's a threat. You don't want to fuck with the Fiend. And that's how I look at characters like that. Because you got to put them more in the Undertaker Kane realm of he's a threat, he's an attraction, and he's too mysterious, mystic type being, you know. So that's how I view him. Like, but yeah, if this was Bray Wyatt, it'll mean more. But in a match like this, where literally, nigga, you was lit on fucking fire, I'm not gonna trip about him losing. Like, gee, he like, okay, but still a fun match either way.
He came back from it, so
exactly. So, and then you're gonna continue, and then you continue the storyline more because now you got Alexa Bliss popping up on a swing set on Raw, saying he's gonna come back more evil and dangerous than ever. It's like, oh, now we're getting Super Saiyan Fiend. Okay, cool, all right. But yeah, so that's that. Let's go ahead. Is there anything else wrestling wise we need to talk about? Nothing. Anything UFC? Because I know the what's the year end event?
The what?
There's no end of the year event for UFC this year.
Nah. It's going straight to January, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's going straight to January with some matches. I think the next card, most likely. The next card is most likely Connor versus Dustin Poirier. I could be wrong though. I'm thinking that's next. They taking a break, I believe. Dana White on the high horse because he didn't have to cancel whatchamacallit.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to cancel the UFC. So he's on a high chop. He's making videos and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nothing really big other than, you know, some people getting released and stuff like that. More releases might come. But, you know, people might keep that on the hush-hush because it's not the E, so.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody make it real big. Ain't nobody crying about it. About certain people getting released, like Yo and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like, plus new talent is always streaming through. There was a rumor that Dana White talked to John Jones to talk him into staying in light heavyweight to fight Izzy. Any truth to that?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think they fight eventually, right? I think they fight, but not right now. But the longer Jones wait, the more it's in Izzy's court. So,
of course, because it was one thing about UFC. Father Time gets your ass.
Yeah, Father Time.
Father Time.
Oh, then there's a chance Khabib still comes back. I don't believe he do, but Dana really hoping on it.
Dana is really hopeful. I know that I saw something about that. I was like, well, he didn't necessarily say he's quitting to me, but you know, he might come back. So we'll wait and see where that goes. But so that's it for combat sports as of right now. Nothing AEW to talk about. NXT, nothing really to talk about. let's go ahead and get into the NBA. This is gonna be a short episode, by the way, people. Just letting it be known right now. NBA wise, Rudy Gobert and a lot of young players got their rookie extensions. Rudy Gobert got a supermax. People are mad that he got $205 million. He's the highest paid big man ever in the league currently. People are very upset. People say, how did AD not get this contract? So first and foremost, let's explain why AD does not have $205 million. Because AD did not want to wait. He said, hey, hold on. I don't know how the hell Patrick Beverly missed that. But good ball movement. Good ball movement. Hold on, I'm sorry. Just wanted to see that. But yeah. AD didn't want to wait. If you waited one more season, like if you took a 1+1, he could have literally got the 200+ million contract. But he wanted the money now and the longevity now, which I understand because no offense to AD, and I love the man. He knows he has he gets petty knick-knack injuries, so he's looking out for himself. Take the money now, you can make it back, and plus you're in LA. But yeah, so moving on. Gobert though, $205 million for Gobert. So a lot of people, the first thing people always bring up is points. Now in the game of basketball, do points matter? Yes. But also the other point of the job is to stop people from scoring points. Rudy Gobert is still one of the best rim protecting bigs in the league. Whether you like him or hate him, he's a 2-time defensive player of the year. 4-time All-NBA. I didn't know he was a 4-time All-NBA. So that's a feat in itself. He's only a 1-time All-Star, I believe. So, and I think he's multi-time block champ as well. And he averages 17 and 15 last year. And so, in terms of numbers, it's not sexy because it's not 20 and 15, but he still affects the defensive side of the ball in a way nobody else does, but probably Anthony Davis, Kawhi. Yeah. He's in that level.
Davis, Kawhi.
Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons.
But it's just like, I do believe he is that. He is a great defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
But would that matter?
And this is where the matter of does it matter, and this is where it matters most come playoff time. So this goes back to the fact of you got to look at the fact that the Jazz is what we call a small market organization. Now, have they had many years of success? Most definitely have. They consistently make the playoffs. They consistently find ways to be in a contending type situation, or fake contending type situation. Let's be a little specific. Fake contending type situation. So with that being said, I'm not shocked that they gave him $205 million and Donovan Mitchell a contract that can be also worth $200 million if he hits certain bonuses and stuff based off of accomplishments like all NBA's All-Stars and stuff like that. So your goal as a small market, no matter how you feel, is to keep your stars / best players. Donovan Mitchell is a top 5 small shooting guard in the league. Rudy Gobert is a top 5 big in the league. You have to keep it. Now, does it work? You get to them. If we could make it to the finals one year, thank fucking God.
Yeah, I think that's a goal.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a goal, but you also know for a small market, we're in fucking Utah. No superstars coming here unless we trade for them. That's the thing. No superstars come in, we trade for them, and even then, they get traded here, they're probably going to be getting mad. But one thing I give the Jazz a lot of credit for is they compete, and maybe on a weird year, if luck presses their way, they could sneak into a finals. And Donovan Mitchell has to literally play out of his rabbit ass mind. They could probably sneak into a Western Conference Finals or Finals one year. Do I see it happen in the near future? Hell no. And also, Rudy Gobert's still, I think, not even 30 yet. He's still really young.
He can develop. Rudy Gobert can prove everybody wrong. He won't, but he can.
Yeah, like not to say, and for him to still don't really average 17 and not having offensive skills. Also, I didn't know that he averaged 70% of his points and like he averages his field goal percentage in the paint is 70%. So literally, if he gets to the paint, he's probably scoring, which is pretty good. And I've seen him try to develop a mid range. So that in itself is progress. He cares about getting better, and he's entering the prime of his career. So, me personally, if I'm a GM, am I giving him $205 million? No. But I know he's worth in the range of what a max would be, and plus his resume speaks for itself. Like, it speaks for itself, and plus, we wouldn't be a playoff team without him. They still made the playoffs with him on the roster before Donovan Mitchell got there. So, I'm not really mad that he got paid what he got paid. Same with Donovan Mitchell. It's like you gotta look at the market for him. Because pretty sure any team would have gave Rudy Gobert a max if he decided to leave. Like if I'm the Clippers and let's just say Kawhi says fuck us and he was available next offseason, I'm giving him the max. Pair him up with Paul George. We're still competitive. We don't care. We got to have 2 stars regardless. We're the Clippers. So he was going to get it somewhere. And clearly he likes Utah. Why? It's nothing Utah, but he likes Utah enough. And regardless, at the Jazz best, they're top 4 seed in the West. At the very worst, they're 7th, 8th seed. So it's like
win-win at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like if you're the Jazz, if they're happy, they want to stay. They want to stay. So, but yeah, and then a bunch of other rookies got not want to say rookies, but young players got max extensions. Kuzma probably being the most shocking signed the extension with the Lakers. His is a 4-year, $48 million contract. I think that's like a little above $13 million a year, which is some people say he could have got 15 a year if he hit the open market, but clearly he likes LA, the Lakers, and also if you look at the next couple of years in the free agency class, it's not really nothing there at all. Nothing. So, and based off literally at this point, because Rudy Gobert was supposed to be on the free agents next offseason. He's gone. AD was supposed to be there. He's locked up. Giannis locked up. So Kawhi is now the big name, but outside of that, the class is very weak. So clearly for the Lakers, it's like, oh, let's just go ahead and just lock up who we can lock up. Make a core. Put Kuzma on a very affordable contract. So if you want to trade him a KCP together for something else, you can do that in the future. So I'm not mad at Kuzma's contract. Is very reasonable because, like I said, he can clearly outplay it easily. So, and it's one of those things that'd be really fun to see if Kuzma does outplay his contract these next couple of seasons, because it's a 3-year. It's a three-year, I think, with a play option for 4. So
he can definitely outplay it. He can definitely prove people wrong. Everything.
Yeah, I would hope he do. So, who else? Oh, let me go to the Athletic. Shout out to the Athletic, G. This is literally, I love the little app, G. Who else got their little money? Luke Kennard got paid. That was extremely random. OG Anunoby, there we go. OG Anunoby got paid as well. He got, I think, $72 million over 4 years. He has potential. Some people call him a Kawhi Light type guy, especially the way he's developing because he's known as a defender and then with the potential to be a great offensive threat. He's still only 23, so it's only up for him. So I'm interested to see how he continues to develop over the years. Derek White of the Spurs got a contract. His is a 4-year deal. Markelle Fultz really shocked me because he got 4 years. I think close to I think a little over 70 million. So shout out to Markel Fultz because there was a point where Muggs was saying that nigga's never gonna be the same, and he got his contract. Jonathan Isaac also got his money as well. Uh, Even though his ACL is still laying on the floor in Disneyland. Notable players who did not get the extensions was John Collins, who I'm shocked. Uh, because like that man is cold. I like John Collins a lot. He has potential to be like a 20 and 10 type level big man. Laurie clearly didn't get his. I'm not shocked because the Bulls don't know what that nigga's worth. We don't know who's the true Laurie marketing, and we gotta see that for this season. Lonzo didn't get his, but I want to bring up Lonzo's later. Jared Allen didn't get his, and Zach Collins didn't get his either. But back to Lonzo. With Lonzo, I'm shocked but not shocked because when you look at the Pelican situation right now, financially they're tight with money. You have Steven Adams. You still got to play Eric goddamn Bledsoe, and as of right now, I believe a part of me feel like Eric Bledsoe is not your point guard of the future, and not the point guard you want to pair with a Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. He couldn't do it with clearly Giannis and Chris Middleton. So you telling me he's supposed to be the point guard to play make, get Ingram, get Zion into the best setup positions, and for them to prosper? I don't believe so. So, but at the same time, he's money. And unless you plan on flipping him to keep Lonzo, because let's just say Lonzo just starts going fucking crazy, then yeah, we'll see what we can. We'll pay you at the end of the year, and we just ship Eric Bledsoe off somewhere. We'll just promise you the money later, clearly. But yeah, like Lonzo's probably the most interesting amongst those who didn't get his money. Your thoughts?
Yeah, me personally, I think it's kind of like a Lonzo wait and see moment. You have a breakout season, you can demand more. You know, I don't believe that whole thing of the boys gonna be playing with each other. As great as LeVar Ball is the father, I don't know if you're convincing anybody of that. But damn, AD. Now Zubac dunking on niggas. But yeah, I don't. It's a win-win in a situation like that too. Do you really want to be in New Orleans for the rest of your career, or at least half of it? So
It's some
you
bad
see how
women
much
in
you
the world,
worth.
so.
See what it's about. Go from there.
Yeah, I definitely feel you. So yeah, like I think Lonzo's gonna get some money. Even like, and once again, when it comes to restricted free agency, the Pelicans have the option to match any offer. So like if you want to see how other teams value him, that's that's cool. Like because clearly like that just say with the Clippers, Paul. Well, just saw Paul George as a point guard throwing the ball to the referee, but if Paul George as your primary playmaker, which is what Ty Lue wants to do, doesn't come to plan, then clearly I'm pretty sure you will look into say, hey, let's bring Lonzo back to LA, but put him on a Clippers locker room. You will look into that, honestly.
Yeah,
so
that will honestly make that one a better defensive team.
Definitely would, and plus you have somebody who get Paul George, and if Kawhi stays the ball. Because clearly, like you have somebody who's on par with Pat Bev as a defender. When he's a streaky shooter at this point, like Lonzo has potential to be a really good shooter, but at this point he's a streaky shooter, and so he's not messing up floor spacing, but at the same time he's able to run your offense. But yeah, so it's a wait and see thing with Lonzo. Like I don't think it's a bad situation for him.
But, no, not at all.
Yeah, so But I think that's it in terms of anything else. James Harden's still in the club partying and he's acting a damn fool in Houston. Nothing else to really talk about in regards to that. But let's go ahead and talk about our preview, our awards, preview of our awards. So let's go ahead and knock out MVP first. Luka is my MVP. Like I'm full effect of the Luka agenda. I believe the Luka agenda is a very real thing, and you niggas just got to get ready to accept it. Yes, y'all. I'm pretty sure the league wants Zion to be the best thing ever, and Giannis as well. But I believe it's Luka's league, and we're just living in it right now. G, we're just living in it until he's ready to take it. I believe AD will be in the conversation, and I'm putting I just thought of that, man. Uh, what's his name? Luca, AD, uh, that boy name. Oh, KD. KD. I'm putting KD in the conversation as well. So those are my top three MVP candidates.
You put him in the conversation. I'm looking at Bron, Luka, AD. I'm not going KD. Even though the narrative might get KD, that push, I'm not liking that. I don't think KD should even try to go for MVP this year. But 9 out of 10, one of my favorite players of all time to do that so effortlessly. I think it's Luka's MVP to win. I just think he's just gonna have a showing. But I would say don't sleep on Bron. Definitely don't sleep on AD. That's what I'm actually rooting for. I won't sleep on Kawhi. Even though lowest management is a thing, I won't even sleep on Kawhi. That's pretty much it. I ain't going for that Zion shit. You can miss me with that.
I'm not putting that man in the conversation. I don't think I got him in anything right now. So
that nigga ain't gonna make the playoffs. What the fuck he even in the conversation?
there actual people who doing that? Because I didn't see nobody. But
yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Oh yeah, sleeper to win MVP's Joel Embiid.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's a sleeper.
Though he won't, that's a good sleeper.
Yeah, he's a sleeper. Next, let's go defensive player of the year. This is an AD's award to win. To lose, honestly, because he should win it. And I think as long as he performs defensively as he did last year, they're going to give it to him because he's owed one at least. He should have at least two. Rudy Gobert has one of them. And I think Kawhi has one of them. Giannis has one of them. Rudy Gobert has one. Giannis has the other. So it's AD's to win to me. But I'm also going to put Embiid in the conversation as well. And I'm also Embiid and Ben Simmons both going to be in the conversation for it this year. I think they might cancel each other out though. That's going to be the issue with that. And I'm gonna also throw something's telling me this might be a reach. Something's telling me Jimmy Butler might try to put himself in this conversation this year as well. So Jimmy Butler and Marcus Smart. There we go. I was thinking Marcus Smart at first, but Jimmy Butler I could see trying to fight for it, but Marcus Smart will probably fight for it as well. Especially since we haven't seen a point guard win it in years.
Yeah.
So, and not even years, probably decades since Gary Payton won. So, my top three is going to be AD, Marcus Smart, and Giannis is going to be in the conversation. Giannis is not. I don't think Giannis is going to get many MVP votes unless he averages 30, 13, and freaking 7. Then maybe, but he's going to get the LeBron treatment of we're tired of voting for this nigga. So,
I can see that.
So yeah, but I think those are my top 3.
I can see that. We doing defensive player of the year or
Yeah,
MVP?
defense player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. My bad. I had to make sure because you said Giannis numbers. I was like, huh? We got AD, who I think gonna win it. AD, who I think gonna win it. Rudy Gobert will always be in that. Joel Embiid, I think, will be in it this year. Now, actually, scratch that. Ben Simmons. I definitely think Ben Simmons will be in the conversation. He was in the conversation last year.
You was.
He got overshadowed by AD and Giannis, right? But he was definitely in that conversation last year. I definitely think he'd be in the conversation this year. That's pretty much it for me. I agree with the Jimmy Butlers, but I think the Heat gonna have not a power trip, but they're gonna slog through the season. And I'll go with the Marcus Smart too.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. 6 man. After just seeing what the Nets did to Warriors earlier, Karis LeVert is definitely my pick. He was my pick when I before the game, but he's definitely solidifying his case. That wasn't a foul, but yeah, Karis LeVert. I'm also throwing in Derrick Rose in hopes that because literally he's always in that conversation, just he's stuck on the fucking Pistons. Free Derrick Rose. But if Derrick Rose goes to a contending team and he continues to put up quality 6 man numbers, he'll be in that conversation.
I'm going for so somebody on the Lakers. Somebody on the Lakers. I'm thinking. I don't know. Let's tell me how I really haven't thought about 6 man. So think of Montrez. Seth Curry.
Yeah.
That's if he don't start.
Mm-hmm.
Karis LeVert. He can either win 6 man or most improved. That's pretty much it for me.
I ain't mad at those. Coach of the year. It's either going to be Doc Rivers or they give it to Frank Vogel.
Or Steve Nash.
Steve Nash has a possibility, but especially the media sympathizes for the fact that they said that Kyrie Katie said he's not the coach. We just listen to that nigga. But Doc Rivers and Frank Vogel's my top 2 picks. Like, if Doc Rivers do what I believe he should be able to do with Philly, as in put him in a top 3 seed position, then he's going to win it. Especially if Embiid and Simmons look good together. That's the thing. If they look, because the thing is, like, for them to be successful without having a correct meshing, if they just mesh correctly on offense, like, they are arguably the most dangerous team in the league, all around. But if Doc Rivers puts it together, I think he's the heavy favorite. I'm putting Frank Vogel in that conversation as well, especially if the Lakers remain the top.
In that joint.
Mike Malone as well. I think Mike Malone. Yeah, he'll be in that conversation too. So yeah, so Doc, Frank Vogel, Mike Malone. I'll put Steve Nash possibly in there. And yeah, those would be my 4.
And if Ty Lue can turn this joint around, Ty Lue.
Yeah, he'll be in there. Ty Lue, the Clippers got to be the number 1 seed for Ty Lue to get it done. Yes, they have to be the number 1 seed, which is possible, but they have to be the number 1 seed. My most improved. So I have Zach LaVine in there because I believe Zach LaVine might literally gun his ass off this year, like legit gun, like to no further avail. And to I think Zach LaVine might average close to over 26 this year. I know last year my hot take was he's going to be the scoring champ. He might still be in that conversation. That was my hot take last year. I saw your eyes open up. But I think Zach Link averaged a little over 26 this year. I believe Billy Donovan knows he's the clear-cut best player on that team, especially on the offensive end. He's going to let that man get his buckets. And if there's one thing about Billy Donovan I like is he'll let his stars cook. He ain't afraid to let them cook where they at their strengths. Seth Curry's in the conversation as well because I think that man's going to probably get some crazy looks just by being in Philly. Like, and for him to be in that conversation, I think he'll have to average close to like 15, 16 and shooting probably over 45% free, which I think he did last season anyway. And that was with Luka passing on the ball. So those are my two. Because it's not a lot of guys for me to really win it this year.
We was doing most improved, right?
Yeah.
MPJ, Michael Porter Jr.
Oh yeah. I'm not. I don't think Kevin LeVert can win it this year.
Yeah, he can definitely be most improved. Don't sleep on Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
With DJ Augustine gone, okay. You got nothing to lose, my brother. DeAndre Ayton is a possibility.
Oh yeah, that's somebody I don't know how I forgot. If Aiden goes from like averaging like over 20 and 10, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. Okay, next is all NBA first, second, and third team.
That's hard. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do the same thing as last year. The same first team, the exact same first team. I don't think that changes unless Bron goes lower, right? But second team, I'm throwing KD and Kawhi spot.
I don't think Kawhi was first team last year.
No, I said for second team, I'm throwing KD and Kawhi spot.
Oh, okay.
And throwing Kyrie probably on third team somewhere.
Oh.
I don't know if Curry don't make the playoffs. Is he still eligible?
LeBron didn't make the playoffs, and he made third team. Third team is normally we put in some niggas who were like crazy good. They just didn't make the playoffs.
Okay.
So yeah, because LeBron made third team the year the Lakers didn't make his first year with the Lakers. But yeah. So first team, my first team is AD, Giannis, and KD, and Harden and Steph. That might change though. But because hey, second team, I got Embiid, LeBron, Ben Simmons, Dame, and I'm putting Devin Booker in there for second team. And third team, I got Jokic, Bam, Tatum, Kyrie, and Russ.
Do you see Russ getting in it?
I think Russ might average close. He's not going to average a triple double. He's going to be close this year.
Okay.
Especially if the Wizards are like a top 6, top 5 team in the East. So yeah, so that's all NBA. And our biggest trade prediction. I don't see a lot of teams making major moves, honestly, unless they need to. But outside the Harden situation, Harden is probably the biggest name that might get flipped. But depending on what the Rockets want to do with that, that's the question. But I'm gonna say, Jesus Christ, Kuzma, make a shot. But Lonzo gets traded to the Clippers is my biggest trade.
My hot take is the Warriors don't make the playoffs.
No, biggest trade. Hot take is after this.
Oh, I thought it was hot take. Biggest trade?
Yeah, not besides Harden. Because Harden's pretty much it's a wait and see at this point.
DeMar DeRozan will not be a Spur.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. DeMar and probably Marcus Aldridge probably
And Maury Lark and Laurie Marketing. I think Laurie Marketing might be gone too.
You the Bulls, you trade Laurie Marketing to the Spurs for DeMar DeRozan.
No.
Yeah.
That literally adds nothing. If I'm the Bulls, I'm trading Laurie to a contender, get some picks or something. To the Warriors or something.
Most of the contenders don't have picks.
Warriors ain't got no picks.
As of right now, I don't know what they have. Besides, not enough help for Steph. Gee, they missing so many easy layups. But yeah, okay. So hot take. Now you probably gonna look at me crazy. I'm looking right at the camera this time as I say this. Ben Simmons is going to shoot combined. Combined is the key in this. From the mid-range and 3-point line, he's going to shoot combined 40%. He's going to shoot enough mid-ranges and threes where you can say he shoots 40% from the positions.
So my hot takes. Notice I said takes. The Warriors won't make the playoffs. Brooklyn get bumped the first round. Trae Young will be the third best player in the Eastern Conference.
That's possible.
And is that it? Oh, and between Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons get traded by the deadline.
I ain't mad at either one. None of those actually. Trae Young probably go elevate in top 3 is possible because let's see. Best players in the East right now. Giannis.
It's a lot of best players in the East. So I'll probably cap on top 3, but like top 5. A lot of good players in the East.
Yeah. Giannis, Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tatum.
KD, Kyrie.
Fuck, damn. See, I'm still used to them being East. Yeah, KD and Kyrie. In fact, I didn't even mention them before them, but yeah, KD, Kyrie.
Westbrook, Bradley Beal. Like, there's a lot of good players in these, but I think Trae Young gonna cut himself out. It might not be known this season, but Trae Young, you gonna look back and like, man, Trae Young averaged 28. What the heck?
28 and 10, because with that team, he can average 28 and 10. Depending how often he's on the court with Rondo as well, it might be closer to 28 and 8, but I could see him getting to 28. If he gets to 10 assists, shoot, he might be in like he'll sneak into all NBA depending on the record. It's possible because easily Giannis and KD's 1 and 2, easily. That third, you can flip flop so many freaking players.
Any given night, the East is really. I know the West. Talk about the East got some really good stars spread it around.
Yeah, it's like talent wise, like okay, if they were to do East versus West All-Star games again, the East actually compared to previous years, because the East used to be LeBron, maybe another legit superstar, and damn, other teams' second, third best options. You sit there and be like, what the fuck? Now, if they were to do an All-Star game, East and West would be a lot more competitive. A lot more competitive. So.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I agree. The East, like talent-wise, the East is on par with the West, especially in terms of young talent. Like young. The West still got like the old guard, of course, like the Brian, Kawhi, Steph, Harden. But in terms of like below 30, the East probably got the best young talent, which is they should dominate. That's why when I sit there and think, like when people like Harden sit there and say trade me East, it's like nigga, the East ain't no joke as much as it used to be. Like yeah, it's wide for the taking, but it's because
the stars are more sparsed out.
They spaced out.
Last year, the West just had a bunch of fucking duos and Luka. Like it's just you still had the CJ and the Dame. You have Bron and AD, Kawhi, Paul George, Westbrook, Harden, even Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Even if you want to go Jokic, throw Jokic in that MVP conversation. That was big cap on us, bro.
Oh yeah, we apologize.
That was big cap on us. I ain't even gonna cap. Jokic got about a chance of LeBron getting there right now, bro. That nigga go. What if Jokic averaged a triple double? You give it to him?
Easily. A center averaging a triple double for a whole season? Yes. Yes. For one, a center. I don't think a center averaged more than 10 assists since Wilt Chamberlain did it because he wanted to be an asshole.
The collective, when they did it, they wanted to be an asshole.
Yeah, they wanted to do it. If you listen, for our YouTube listeners, because y'all probably haven't checked out old episodes. Check the episode when we was talking. I think it's literally called it's either the Wilt Chamberlain had waves or the Wilt Chamberlain the Collect. I forgot. I think I actually named why I named the episode, but it's Wilt Chamberlain's in the title. We call Wilt Chamberlain the Collective because he's probably more than one person. And if you look at all the Wilt Chamberlains on 2K, they all look different. So it's like we don't know who Wilt Chamberlain is. But yeah, like if Jokic was sit there and average a triple double, I'm giving it to him. I don't care if the Nuggets are literally the 8th fucking seed. Give it to him. Because no center will ever do that ever again. Ever. Also, another hot take. Cat is going to get D'Lo traded. I don't think Cat's going to leave, but he's going to want D'Lo the fuck up out of there. For who, I don't know.
Another hot take. Harden stays with the Rockets for the whole season.
Honestly, I won't even call it a hot. I won't be shocked. Because they're just going to ask for something like the price for Harden. This is the thing. Harden is a former MVP / top 5 player in the league. That was pretty cold by Kawhi. Oh, that was a travel. But
the one to travel that he had to run.
Oh, but literally, like the asking price for him that doesn't involve a star, it's gonna be ridiculous. It's like it's tough to trade star players because you don't know what's fair value. Like what people sit there and say the Lakers gave up too much for AD. I'm like, nigga, all they did was get rid of their young pieces, nigga. Like any other team, that's why Danny Ainge scared to pull the trigger. It's like, no, I want to pair him with Jason Tatum. I don't want to lose Jason Tatum. Well, no, nigga, we want Jason Tatum. We want your future. That's the story. We want the future. So, but yeah. So those are all our predictions for the season. Short episode. We've been giving you guys long ass episodes for the past literally whatever. We literally gave you a 1 hour episode, but we're also trying to watch the game at the same damn time. But shout and the Lakers is getting kind of smacked up. But once again, when them niggas get their rings, they don't focus about nothing else but them damn rings. It's ring night is a very big distraction. I'll never forget when the Bulls, I think 40 or 50 piece the Miami Heat. The D Wade Shaq Miami Heat, by the way, on ring night. And I was like, what the hell? So it be that way sometimes. But we appreciate you guys for listening. Shout out to the YouTube watchers, listeners. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the little bell, letting you know when we drop videos. Pretty much, will we do an episode next week? We might take a week off next week. Probably, yeah, just so we can see what goes on the first full week of the NBA. So I'll be able to enjoy it in peace, and also for the holidays. Merry freaking Christmas. Happy New Year as well. So, but make sure you please copy some You Tweaking Media merch. 35% off for the end of the year and the start of next year, G. So, but make sure you guys have a Merry Christmas, full of joy and cheer. Make sure you have a happy and safe Happy New Year. Please don't catch COVID. Please, not worth it. But yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Threes from the Ring. keep up with our basketball wrestling takes as we go on our little hiatus, because look, we need a break and a vacation. So, and make sure you whatever DSP, whether it's Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you hit that subscribe and follow button as well, and share. Let the people know that you rock with Threes from the Ring and all you Tweaking Media podcasts as well. But we appreciate you guys for listening, and peace.
Oh, Avita's in this game, bro. I'm sorry.
And look, man, I understand. Shout out to the Lakers coming back though.